It's my Feel Good Breakfast Show.
Welcome back. It's a Tuesday morning on your Feel Good Breakfast Show. Dr. Darren Green back in the house again. Good to have you back, sir. And today we're tackling a very important topic. Many of you will be aware of the concern in Johannesburg around a measles outbreak. And since there have been close to 20 reported cases in recent times. Now, of course, a lot of you might say that doesn't sound like a crisis. But from a medical perspective, as little as 5 confirmed cases do or is considered as an outbreak. And the World Health Organization says that measles is the #1 leading cause of death among young children, even though a safe and cost-effective vaccine is available.
Exactly, and of course this is why the Department of Health and the City of Johannesburg have launched a campaign to try and get 1 million infants and children vaccinated. Now we are joined this morning by our favorite doctor, resident doctor, Darren Green, and he's going to of course be talking to us more about this, and he's recently just returned from a long trip from Marion Island, so we are so happy to have you here.
Thank you so much.
How was that? Was it good?
Incredible.
Yeah.
Incredible. I mean, the nature scenes and the weather extremes of snow and ice pellets to elephant seals and penguins was just mind-blowing.
And now you're back on our hot seat, of course, to give medical advice. And let's talk about this measles outbreak, Dr. Green, and exactly why measles is so dangerous to young children.
In young children and in the elderly. I mean, so the big concern, obviously, is not just the skin rash that we see there, the highly papular red inflammatory fine little rash that occurs basically all over the body. Even the mouth is involved with spots, white spots in the mouth and the ears and crusting of the earlobes, etc. But the long of the short is that the complications of measles is what kills people. Okay. Wow. You can develop a measles infection that spreads to other body parts, like the lungs, for example, where you get a pneumonitis, inflammation of the lung tissue itself. That can affect your breathing. It can even move to the central nervous system, to the brain, and affect your brain in the same way that meningitis does, and lead to what's called a measles encephalitis. So there are many complications, and the gut can be affected. You can get diarrhea from measles, where the child can just have runny stools for a long period of time and become dehydrated and die from that, rather. So, you know, the spin-offs of the systemic manifestations, that's why it can become quite dangerous if not treated or diagnosed early and supportive treatment is given. But obviously prevention is what we're aiming for here, and that's the take-home message. It's preventable. And why we have to actually notify measles is it's often a disease of crowding, so droplet spread, children in schools. That's why if there are 5, a breakout of 5 in a school, it becomes such a big thing, because we want to then isolate those cases, treat them, and get the rest of the exposed people vaccinated as soon as possible.
Yeah. And how... Sorry, go ahead.
Well, of course, I think we're going to have to continue this conversation in a little bit, but we want to talk about this more. I think we've all experienced measles in our lifetime. Did you have?
No, I haven't.
You haven't had them? No. Why did we get calamine lotion put on it, though? I don't know.
The pink stuff. The calamine's for the itchiness, but it's mostly for chicken pox, because chicken pox itches a lot more than measles does. Okay. Measles burns a little bit more than what it itches.
Okay. Well, we're going to be chatting about this a little bit later on, of course, how this also affects your sense of taste, but all that and more coming up with the doctor. First, let's head to the kitchen.